Hello. So, after the video of yesterday about menopause process, my menopause process, I had a lot of questions, and I had also questions that make me remember things that I totally forgot because it's so long, so long time ago. Someone wanted to know if I had trouble with my hair during that time. Yes, I totally forgot that. But at the beginning, I had a terrible thing. It was not that they were falling a lot, but I had a pain right here in the middle. And I was working a lot at that time. I was in New York and with Ford Model Agency, and I had a lot of shooting. And when they were making my hair, it was terrible. I had the line in the middle, like so painful. I could and even the wind, it was really painful. And this lasts for several months. So I think it was hormonal. I had also a kind of idea about why it was like that. It was for me, like I said yesterday, it was the death of a cycle and it's a renewal of another one. And I compare that to when we birth, like a baby, when he's born, this part is very flexible. The bones are not together there. So I was thinking maybe it's a remembrance of that, and maybe it's the same kind of process that is there, because when a baby is birthed at the birth, this is open because it's still connected with the energy of the cosmos, and it goes directly in the middle of the brain, where we have these glands, very, very important, and especially the pineal glandula. So that is like so tiny, so subtle, but that is really, really important for the whole metabolism. Some things even that it's this gland that decides the moment of the death, of when we die. Me, I had that in mind, so for me, it was a natural process as well. And I was thinking, okay, I'm rebirthing, how it's gonna be, what's gonna happen. And maybe I'm getting some subtle informations there. And okay, it's gonna be like, I had to, it was not an obligation, but for me it was okay. I had to follow the process and it will be okay. And it has been. So this lasts almost a year, and it was really, really painful. I didn't lost a lot of hair. I had a lot of hair at that time. My skin was great. I never had trouble with my skin, even when I was thin. So I cannot say it was more dry, because also this is very important. It's about the way your alimentation, the way you eat, what you eat. And me, it's always been rich in healthy fat. So I think this is very important for hair, for skin, for nails. I don't have problem with my nails neither. And so my skin, I don't notice a lot of change. What I had, but this was a family issue, and I had that cuprose, when you have little spider veins, tiny, and it's all red. And we had that on my mother's side in the family a lot. So when I was in Paris before being in the US, so like maybe 30 years ago, I asked my gynecologist what I could do, and she sent me to a friend of her that is aesthetic surgeon. And she said it was the beginning of laser therapy. I think it's called IPL. So it was like, yeah, it's a little bit more than 20 years ago, the whole beginning. And she told me, you can go there, don't do electric, because before to have these little vessels taking off, it was by electricity. And she told me that with the electricity, it can let some little scars. So she sent me that. I did that session. It was not painful, and all went away. And I didn't know that it was also good for spots. I don't have a lot of spots, but I started to have some age spots that I still have here around, And after a couple of months, I went back. It was the beginning. I was in New York, so I went back in New York. And I noticed that my skin was much tighter. So I sent her an email and I say, I would love to know what is going on with my skin, because it seems more tighter, more tight, you know. She explained to me, oh, I forgot to tell you, when you do this laser, the skin become, yes, more tight. Oh, I said, this is quite interesting. I go for coupe rose, that is resolved. And this was really amazing because it was red, but when you do that, it's become black. I had black, all this was black. And here it was black, and I never saw blood vessels that were here. So I was wondering, what is this thing? And after they go away after like maybe less than a week. And I realized, yes, I know what it is. It's when I gave birth, I pushed so much that this exploded all around here. And all this has been cleared. So for me, when I had this session, it was like another level of reading. It was like, wow, I cleared a lot of things of the past. Now I can go forward. It was quite interesting because touching to the skin, that is a frontier between inside outside, and also it was like clearing something. I was also be able to access to something else inside of me in the same time. It's maybe abstract, but it was like a really interesting feeling. So I had that, and I did an IPL maybe like 7 or 8 years ago again with her, and that's it. I never did anything else because my skin, I never had trouble. I had trouble when I was much younger, and this is another story that I explained once when I discovered 20 years after the birth of my daughter that I had an injection of oxytocin who created me a lot of trouble with allergies, skin allergies, sun allergies, spring allergies, a lot for many years that I tried to cure naturally, and it was really a nightmare until I went to this naturopath one day, and 20 years after, and he tested me because he's doing also, it was in Paris, he's also doing also Chinese medicine and energetic. And he told me, why do you have such a strong reaction to oxytocin? I said, I don't know, I don't take anything. He said, oh, it's not something you take. It's an injection that is done when you give birth to make it faster. I said, I cannot believe it. And I discovered that it's what they did. Everything was fine. I already had a child and it had no problem. And I arrived and the midwife said, yes, it will be in a couple of hours. Everything is fine. And suddenly I came in at the clinic. It was 2 o'clock. They put me in a labor room, and suddenly a nurse came with a syringe. And I said, what is that? It's to help you. I said, I don't need help. Everything is fine. And I had the needle. And after I had a very strong reaction, it has been terrible. And I was wondering for the baby what was going on. And it has been a nightmare. So they came back because I was tetanized. I could not breathe. So they came back and they gave me another injection that has been really violent too, all hot. And I thought I was burning everywhere. So it has been hard. And I discovered 20 years after why. And I discovered that this created so many trouble. My skin was fine. I had no pimples or anything. It was just that it was like a fire. And I could not at all go to the sun. So I was covered with white linen and hat. And me who never had allergies because I grew under the sun, it was like very, very disturbing. And it's at that time as well that I started to try, because it was the beginning also of total screen, skincare thing. So I said, okay, sun protection. I tried. I could not stand it. I could not breathe. I was suffocating. So I preferred to have my white linen totally covered with a hat and scarf than instead of that. So this was, another life. But and after I've been for this oxytocin issue, I've been treated by this naturopath in homeopathy, very high dose that I had to carry for 3 months on my thymus, like a small bag of gel that I had to carry there for 3 months. And it has been work. It has been done. It has been like by miracle. It was gone. So I had the feeling I was living again. It was really, and this was I was 40. So this was like, my daughter is born when I was 20 years old, almost for my birthday. And this, she was 20. So I discovered that when I was 40. So, skin is, it's an amazing indicator when something is not right. It can be something you eat. It can be an emotion. Often it's really emotional, like psychosomatic. And it shows immediately when something is not right. So it's a good, the body is amazing. It's always showing, things, attracting the attention on something to be able to put our attention often on something else. So it's quite intelligent. So about skin, I told you, so I never took supplement. Maybe we can take supplement, is what I said yesterday. I had this extract of plants that my gynecologist prescribed. I cannot even tell you the plants, I totally forgot, it's so long time ago. And it was also especially for me, so it's not something that everybody gonna take. She did a study about how I was, what I felt, and how it was to give me these plants. So you have to find a good naturopath who can help you with that, with homeopathy and Chinese medicine. And if you found someone that combine all these things, and kinesiology is great, because you can have an approach, a global approach of the process and the phenomenon, and it's really helpful. I was thinking also, don't forget the fleur de bac flowers. These are really potent. Some people are really receptive to that, and it's just so subtle and there is no danger. And it's the spirit of plants, and it's very powerful because the plants, they don't speak. But I was seeing the little flower that I cut this morning. They were all open, and now it's evening and they're totally closed. And tomorrow morning they're gonna open. So they are alive and they feel, and they as they are subtle in their way to be alive, that we never hear them, they are the same with their spirit. It's something very subtle, and that is very powerful. And what else? What question there? I should write them. Oh yeah, someone asked in a comment if I was with a partner in my life, and about my sexual life. So this is, I'm sure a lot of people are curious about that. And me too, I'm the first surprise.